Hello everyone. My name's Leon Noah Jr. and I'm just basically looking at all the news from YouTube about this AI verification. And there are other few more topics that I want to point out, but only in short. So let's just get to the YouTube part. This YouTube AI verification, I've checked it out, and unfortunately, I have no confidence in this whole system for the same reasons I had no confidence in the automated systems that has been placed on YouTube. Basically, it's just more restrictive means, and now they finally crossed the line. Well, they've been crossed the line into censorship. No matter how many times I would look at it. So let me get this straight. Considering where I am, and I can't believe I even have to put in my own. I don't want to bring up my age because I've been up here since 2005, but I didn't get my account till about a year later. And suddenly, if I wanted to watch any, shows that they got a whole abundance in, or that you have to pay for or it's free, depending on the watch history, if they see me watch a show, even if it's just to enjoy myself, to be a bit nostalgic, according to my watch history, if I watch any shows that are for kids, like Batman, the Justice League, anything that has been, that the audience is for kids, that unfortunately it marks me as a children. And they try to either ask for me, what am I saying? They'll ask for me for my government ID and a whole bunch of stuff that is too much sensitive information that I don't think I should give, because, come on, of all the years that I've been told not to ever give up my information, whether it's my ID, social security, etc., and now these guys from the YouTube staff wants to turn around and say, hey, it's okay to put your ID and stuff up here. We'll take care of it. I wonder if those guys realize, if they learned anything from the T-apps and the multiple data breaches that's happened everywhere in any company. Now, I remember getting Virginia Premiered and other stuff like that, and they have been hacked. So I end up getting a mail from them, and they tell me about this data breach, and I had to go sign up for a free membership for Experian, so they can monitor whatever is going on with my personal data, anything that's sensitive. If there's some fools out there trying to commit identity theft. Even you guys can tell from just that little story alone that YouTube is at this so haughty that they think it can never be hacked. But underestimate all the talented hackers out there in cyberspace that will still do it anyway and hack your stuff. And if any of our government IDs or faces, anything that's sensitive is out there, and they hack it, guess what? Credit cards, our faces, our IDs. That's identity. Oh, great. Identity theft. That is so many security risks going wrong for them. And it's a disaster waiting to happen. So why should I give out my ID after every single adult in my life, when I asked them about this, told me to be careful with that stuff? Because if they get their hands on it, they'll get a hold of your accounts, your checking accounts, any account. They'll use your face and all that to commit all sorts of crimes in your name with your face. And this is going down in a few hours from now. I'm very disappointed in how and YouTube and what they've ultimately became. From a place that was all about expressing yourself, before you know it, every corporate entity has turned this place into a they made it less fun to visit. And no, I don't care about my mistakes I made on the video. I am more concerned about the potential censorship and a whole bunch of security issues from people who think they got this made in the shade, but do not realize they're going to make an even bigger mistake like they did on YouTube Kids. My stuttering issues is minuscule compared to the idiocy and the consequences of people who underestimate all these hackers who's going to do it anyway because for some it's fun, for others it's a career, although on an illegal path. They're just trying so hard to make YouTube a less fun place to visit. Well, I can't just sit there and stay silent for a lot longer. When it gets down to it, this is a result of all that stuff that's happening out there. Everything that's in the federal government and the corporations, they've been wanting this internet for years now. And now they're just going to go ahead and just charge right on through. This is exactly why a lot of us have to not only do more than go out to just send contests on this web. What am I saying? Basically, contact the staff in many other ways, but go to the actual places where you guys need to go and let them know this is a terrible idea. And on other ends, everything's going nuts with the federal government, especially Washington, D.C., and a whole bunch of dopey things that just screams, we're not the best country we're not the greatest country in the world. Well, that's what other people say, but America can no longer claim that stuff. And a lot of people out there with the politicians are playing games where we are at the lowest points in American history. Or could be even more lower if this keeps up. Okay, that's that side gripe out of the way. But ultimately, YouTube is such a hot mess, and all the censorship is a hot mess. Kiss Online app, Blockbeard, Safety Act, Screen App, and a bunch of other bills that I'm now getting a hold of, or just hearing just now. This is something you just can't just sit on your butts. You got at least, at the very least, in cyberspace, get out there, contact your congressman and all these other guys. Do anything you got to do, because I'm waking up to censorship and a whole bunch of stuff that I've been told in even social studies and U.S. history classes that this was something that U.S. was fighting against back then, and now we got one terrible person in, and he wants to just change everything up and be no better than some other countries out there. I'm very disappointed. With that said, I'm just gonna just put this video up, get some conversations going on the comment section. And no, I don't care what people are going to say about me, my voice, and all that. I'm tired of people trying to use everything, every single freaking thing, as a distraction. Honestly, I've been going through the internet about the way I speak now, the way I hear myself right now, and how this is recorded is much different. So I might have to really, I should have been gotten some more powerful recording equipment to help pretty much alleviate this problem. But at this point, I just don't care. I care about my freedom, I care about my privacy, and it's like I'm surrounded by a couple of idiots who are older than me, supposed to be more experienced than me, but they are just showing that they're much more incompetent than even I thought. No one should have to keep dealing with this stuff, and it's not even about the whole children, it's just an excuse to own the internet. That's all it's ever been. That's always stuttering again, but that's what it was always all about. I'm not that foolish. I've heard this for years. There's been the government and corporations and all these other parties wanting to own the internet. And now they're just pushing this thing in, trying to get some of those bills in the Senate and the House. I got it in reverse, but you get my point. And to top it all off, anyone that criticizes about YouTube, unfortunately, the AI is, or whoever in charge is gonna get anybody or him with a warning strike. Of all the videos I've made from time to time, honestly, I've just been focusing on topic. This is the only video I've ever made that basically just points out the flaws for YouTube's new system and their previous automated systems. And if they're just going ahead and penalizing people for speaking out against their platform, that is a huge red flag. This place is ran by people who talk a good talk, sound a good sound, and all this stuff to make you feel comfortable, but once you point something out, then they completely change their attitude. It makes it look like you're the problem. When people for years have tried to contact them, have tried to be patient with them, have tried to repeal. And even after all that, it's the same old story. It's really sad that this is exactly where some of these people want us to be put in. They don't like criticism. They don't like being talked about in any way. I remember people telling me, some people aren't going to like you anyway, but you got to move on regardless. Okay, that's my spin on things. But the point is, some people are just not going to like you, and some people who don't like you, you've given them a reason not to like you. And in this case, some of the staff has given people to criticize because they're not doing right by them. And what do? They act like that all the users, the people who come to their platform, are the problem. But even I've completely had predicted that they were going to push ahead with these automated systems, and they were looking for a reason to pull this off. I've been up here for years, so I've had a lot of fun up here. But now that fun is waning, and some people are telling me to give out sensitive information that I wouldn't even trust them with, because Virginia Premier and a bunch of other companies got hacked. You don't think YouTube won't get hacked? Hacked? They will. One day, hackers love the challenge of trying to breach in other people's security. I don't want to give them my ID. It's not safe. I don't want to show them my face on the face scans. It's not safe. And I know better than to put my credit card out. Well, I have to make some changes to that, but point is, the way things are is just not safe. Well, I'm going to end the video here, because I think I've said all I can say with all the energy I could get before I could go to bed. For a lot of YouTubers, I'm really stuttering badly now. For a lot of YouTubers out there, be persistent. Find ways to just point out these flaws. For a lot of people all around the world, heck, wherever you guys feel when it comes to America and all that, I don't blame you. It's a hot mess, and there's too many people playing games with literally everybody's lives, even online. With that said, I'm ending it here. If you can even understand all that jive and dissonance from my voice, it's not how I sound, but I'm really gonna have to get some recording equipment and articulate better. But that's it. Thank you for watching.